Formula One, also known as F1, is one of the greatest motorsport races in motorsport history. Everything about Formula One has to deal with basic supercar brands such as McLaren, Aston Martin, Renault, Audi, Mercedes Benz, and Ferrari. But those are the only brands known for Formula One. And today I'm gonna show you the story behind Formula One. Let's start with a little backstory about Formula One. Formula One started its days back in 1950, which is likely a senior year for when Formula One was made. And this is likely the beginning of Formula One. Like I said about the Formula One brands, these brands include supercar brands, which is Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Benz, Renault, and Aston Martin. In fact, these were the only five brands to be known by Formula One. In fact, Mercedes Benz was driven by Lewis Hamilton, who is likely the team of Mercedes. Then you got McLaren for Ayrton Senna, and then there's Ferrari with Michael Schumacher. Probably one of the best ones would possibly be is Lewis Hamilton or Michael Schumacher. Formula One was made by Marchi Antonio Brivio Sforza. That was likely one of the greatest things about Formula One because Formula One, as its name would suggest, would likely be the very first F1 race cars that would likely began due to its time. The original design for Formula One race cars are simple front-engine vehicles often derived from modified road vehicles with basic steel tube frame chassis and minimal aerodynamic design. This may likely allude to the fact that the Formula One race cars were made out of basic road vehicles that we basically use for everyday living. In fact, this idea changed later on in later years. And here we come to the present detail about the Formula One race cars. The Formula One race cars are single-seated, open cockpit, open wheel vehicles featuring advanced aerodynamics with front and rear wings, ground effect underbodies, and a halo safety device. This may likely allude to the fact that the Formula One cars are no longer based on road cars and now they are thin, low to the ground aerodynamic race cars like those endurance cars that you'd likely see in Le Mans. Let's start with Ferrari's Formula One race car driver, and it is Michael Schumacher. He joined the team since 1996, won his first debut title with them in 2000, and went on to win four more consecutive championships with the team from 2000 towards 2004. This was likely the beginning of Formula One with Michael Schumacher. Lewis Hamilton racing for Mercedes-Benz since 2013, which is likely a year ahead of Michael Schumacher. He joined the team after leaving McLaren when he had been since his junior career. His decision was a major career move as Mercedes was not yet dominant in Formula One at the time. So this may likely be the fact that Lewis Hamilton must have been around since 2013. And here comes Ayrton Senna, joining for McLaren's Formula One title in 1988 Formula One season. He moved to the team after his stint with Lotus, and his first season with McLaren saw him win his first world championship title. And this may likely be the most earliest generation of Formula One racing since Michael Schumacher debuted in 1996. Although you may not know the story of Formula One yet, but here's a real catcher for you guys. Formula One existed in Singapore, which hosts the annual Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. This night race had been on Formula One calendar since 2008 and is known for its challenging street circuit and unique urban backdrop, which is kind of cool because this is not the only first time that Singapore hosted a Formula One race at night. Here's a major detail that you guys may not notice. Formula One race cars do not use headlights because they do not need them for visibility as the tracks are well lit and the cars are built for speed, not street use. Instead, they have specific LED light arrays on the rear and a bracket on the roll hoop for communication, which indicate a car's status like rain or safety car conditions to other drivers, officials, and mechanics. So this may likely be a useful feature because Formula One race cars don't drive like normal road cars. Here's an interesting detail about the Formula One race cars. The Formula One race cars drive around at night, but here's the real thing. Formula One race cars do not race at night because the circuits are fully illuminated by powerful floodlights, eliminating the need for headlights. This may allude to the fact that most racetracks are always lit by bright lights instead of using normal road car headlights. There's also a brand in race car tires because here are the known brands. It's Goodyear, the famous one that was also used for NASCAR, Bridgestone, Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Avon, Continental, and Engelbert. According to Formula One information, the world's famous Formula One driver was actually Lewis Hamilton, the most famous F1 driver today due to his unparalleled success, holding records for the most wins, pole positions, and podiums, and tying the record for the most world championships with Michael Schumacher. Schumacher is also widely considered one of the most famous drivers, having been the dominant force in the early 2000s. Other highly famous drivers include Ayrton Senna, which remains an icon, and Mike Verstappen, a current and very popular champion. Lewis Hamilton, born on 7th January 1985, is a British racing driver who competes in Formula One for Ferrari. Hamilton was a joint record holder. According to some fans, the Formula One race car driven by Lewis Hamilton is held at the Ferrari factory in Maranello, Italy, where it is used for testing and development. Past championship winning cars from his time and Mercedes was displacing it at the Mercedes AMG F1 team's Brackley base for his farewell event. His older race cars are also periodically sold through auctions or displayed in collections. It is revealed that Lewis Hamilton, aka Hamilton himself, is basically living in Monaco and Switzerland. According to some fans, Lewis Hamilton is revealed to be a car enthusiast as he is also a Formula One racer back in his time. The personal daily driver car of Lewis Hamilton is none other than a Mercedes EQC on his daily driver. He sold all of his personal vehicles in 2025, which is likely this year today. If you may not notice this obvious point, Michael Schumacher's daily driver car was actually a Ferrari 550 Maranello. If you don't know the Maranello, it's basically the same car that I told you about where the race car of Lewis Hamilton is now being located. Ayrton Senna's everyday driver car was actually the Acura NSX. If you guys don't know the Acura NSX, it's a car collaborated with Honda. The Honda NSX or the Acura NSX, whatever you prefer it, but I call it the Honda NSX. This car was popular in video games like Gran Turismo and Forza Horizon, and in fact, it's been known by car enthusiasts since 1991 towards 2000s. According to some fans, many people think that Lewis Hamilton has retired. Well, wrong. He hasn't. He had plans to continue racing at least towards to, towards 2026 with Ferrari, where he moved after the 2024 season. While there has been speculation about him retiring due to a difficult 2025 season, recent statements confirm his commitment to racing for the foreseeable future. Some people may prefer Lewis Hamilton to be a badass due to his exceptional skill, record breaking career, and positive influence outside of racing. It may likely be that he was honored as one of Mercedes' best drivers out there. Lewis Hamilton became the GOAT, or the GOAT, or simply translated as greatest of all time due to his record breaking statistical achievements, including the most wins and pole position in F1 history and his record tying 7 world championships. This may allude to the fact that Lewis Hamilton is not backing down ever since. Although we may star in NASCAR racing, drag racing, monster trucks, we also forget that Formula One is definitely the GOAT of where it goes. Lewis Hamilton definitely showed his time in Formula One racing. And thank you all for watching. Make sure that you go comment, like, and subscribe.